Good morning. I hope you can hear me. My name is Tawny Starius, and today is July 3rd, right before our 4th of July weekend, and it is the day before a big full moon tomorrow night, and also a partial lunar eclipse that can be seen in Europe tomorrow. And as a way to celebrate nature and what's happening in this moment, I love to bring in the wonderful healing practice of yoga to our full moon experience. So I'm hoping you can hear me. I hope you are gathering live, and or maybe you find this recording, and I hope it brings your body and your mind and your heart some ground. And I'm calling these graceful ground, partially because my husband wrote this book, Gravity and Grace, and that's two terms, gravity and grace, that we use a lot in our yoga practice. But also during the full moon, there can be obviously effects on the tides and our water in our own body. And it can be a time of big expansion, and a lot of energy is coming to fullness. And sometimes that's hard. So finding ground, finding this stable connection to our earth, our floor, our yoga mat, can really support our peaceful transition into that next phase. So being able to navigate life's ups and downs. And right now in 2020, we're in a pandemic, we're in a rising and uprising of racial equality. It is this wave, and I'm offering these full moon classes as a way to support us all in getting through. So thank you for being here, and let's just dive in. I like to start reading before we practice a little piece of inspiration from Peter's book. And this one is about using gravity, using our body to connect to the earth, which we'll do with our yoga mat. And what we do with yoga is a lot of earth connection, getting our skin onto the earth. Touch, both external and internal, gives us a sense of ourselves through acute awareness of our body. But compared to other senses, touch's influence is hard to pinpoint. That's because tactile information enters the nervous system from every angle and is felt through the body at a cellular level. Identifying exactly how the neurobiology of the skin works is a bit like the old Jane parable of a group of blind men trying to collectively identify an elephant by feeling its different parts. Except in this case, the elephant is on the run. His subtitle to the book is How to Awaken Your Subtle Body and the Healing Power of Yoga. And much of that subtle body is hard to communicate, to put into words. And that's a bit of what I'm reading from this paragraph. Is it's hard to communicate how touch supports us. The neurobiology, it's so complex, and we're moving. So it's a very dynamic art. So I'll keep reading. The local expression and production of neuropeptides or hormones determine the skin's influence on maintaining a dynamic equilibrium in interdependent body systems that are constantly in flux. It's not that important to know exactly how this works, neuron by neuron. What's important, though, is that the quality of our presence and ability to touch has an influence on our experience when we are touching our being or being touched. And as neuroscience has shown, touch can also be transferred energetically. Our body maps automatically track and emulate the movements and intended movements of other people around us through a system of mirror neurons that work through observation, both direct and indirect. So we'll invite today to touch the earth in that ground way that can support us in finding and feeling the nourishment, the stability of the earth, of the ground that's below you, to remind us that we are in a safe spot right now. And to help us track into that safety, one little trick that I'd love to invite us into doing is to look over one shoulder and just see the room that is behind you, or maybe you're outside on a patio, and just see what's behind you, letting your brain know that nothing dangerous is behind you. Maybe even noticing what colors, what shapes are present for you today. And then switching, looking over the other shoulder. And just taking a moment to explore the space that you're in, letting your eyes wander. And then take a moment to take the ground in today. What's holding you? Maybe the earth, grass, carpet, wood. Looking at what elements might be around you. If you have a candle, maybe lighting a candle or looking at the element of fire, the beauty of light. And then if today's practice brings up any challenge in your body, you are invited to meet that challenge with compassion for the body. Stop when you need to stop. Watch the video. Watch my body do it if it feels not right for you today, just so that your mirror neurons that Peter was referencing in his book can have a visual guide of the movement, even if your body can't do it today. We all come to our practice with different limitations or injuries. So making this really work for you, stopping when you need to, making it your practice today. So let's start sitting onto this graceful ground. I like to peel away any flesh from my buttocks so I can feel the sits bones on my yoga mat or into the earth. Maybe rocking the spine forward and back a little bit, locating the pelvis, the bones on the pelvis. The sit bones I can feel as I go back. I can feel the sacrum and the tailbone. And as I rock forward, I can feel the pubic bone. Starting to notice how your body is touching the earth through this pelvis, this kind of root of ourselves, this first chakra. And then once you really have an anchor, so to speak, into your hips, allowing gravity and just weight, soften the hip bones, the thigh bones, the pelvic floor muscles. I invite you to close your eyes if that feels like an invitation that your body would like to do. If your eyes are open, then just letting them be relaxed. As we transition from operating in the outside world of to-dos, taking this moment and a few breaths to honor the path of yoga, this practice that draws us back to the inner experience, the inner guide, connection to our most intimate self. Sometimes I like to think about that intimate self as that place within me, Tani, that does not change. The space within that is the same today as it was 30 years ago, 2 years ago, or the day I was born. This unique, authentic self that is within all of us. An essence, a love, a truth. And we'll begin noticing the inhale coming into our body. Noticing the exhale, soften the body, relax the shoulders. Finding again that anchor through the sit bones into the earth. Find the anchor in the whole body as you arrive more fully to this moment together. Feeling all bones, all organs, this sense of wholeness that is being brought forth. As you breathe and you start to feel more of who you are. Letting the breath be smooth, slightly audible, as long and slow as you can. And we'll take the arms up so that the palms can touch each other. And finding a moment of intention for your body today. Maybe recognizing why you are drawn to practicing today, what you need, what you desire. Maybe a thought of devotion or dedication for this movement. Once you have that prayer of intention, we'll go ahead and plant it to the earth, taking the palms forward. Notice here how the hands touch your mat, maybe the warmth of your mat or the coldness. And taking a moment to release that intention and prayer into the earth, giving that great grand earth below us your prayer. And if it feels right for your hips to go a little further here, you can walk the arms forward. It doesn't matter how far you go. What matters is keeping the spine long and in integrity. So feel as if someone was pulling you by the back of the ponytail, opening through the back of the neck. Taking a few breaths into this shape. Feeling the back of the heart being breathed into, rounding of the spine. And on an exhale, allow the shoulders to soften, the sense of gravity as you descend closer to the earth. Maybe the elbows bend. If they do, then walk the arms forward a little bit more. If anytime you bite off more than you can chew, you can walk the arms back. I'm feeling that a little bit in my hip. I'm just going to ease off. The Yoga Sutras talk about finding a pose that is sustainable, where you can maintain a long, smooth, slow breath. So finding that pose for you today. The jaw is relaxed. The spine feels long and lifted. Each inhale, you feel a wave of breath, maybe taking you out of the pose slightly. Each exhale, a descent a little closer to the earth. Starting to get curious around what you feel and where you feel it. Locating that position in the body. So for me, it's a bit of my right hip feels this pose. And once I locate it, I'm inviting the breath right into that location. Seeing if I can touch that sense of tightness or ache and bring it a little bit of relief through breathing. A release of the chronic grip that might be found in different parts of the body. Good. Walking the arms back upright. We'll switch the cross of the legs. Wake up the opposite hip. If this sitting cross-legged doesn't feel totally wonderful in your body today. I didn't mention you could sit on a blanket as well. Prop the hips up a little bit. That could bring some relief. Hands back forward again, just observing how the skin is receiving the floor, the texture underneath the palms. See if you can touch the floor with an intention of gratitude. Thank you, Earth, for holding us, keeping us safe. Maybe even using the power of your mind and your visualization of feeling the earth also appreciate you back. Inviting in this communication between your body and the earth's body. Walking the arms forward just ever so gently if you want a little bit of a deeper stretch. Keeping the spine long, again, like you're being pulled by a ponytail just a bit. Keeping the skin on the back of the neck smooth. Keeping the face relaxed. And that breath moving in and out of the body. In particularly where you feel some sense of dis-ease or discomfort. And if you don't find any discomfort in this pose, allowing the inhale to move through the back of the heart, the back of the spine. And then notice how the exhale is this natural invitation for the front body to soften and sink a little closer towards the floor, maybe walking the arms out further. For some, the arms can be totally straight. The forehead might even touch the floor. Finding your pose today, knowing it's always changing, just like the moon. Your body always oscillating, needing something different, revealing something different. Let's take 3 more slow, smooth, like silk breaths here. Feeling what you feel. Noticing the floor, noticing your body. The connection between the two. And how Earth is your yoga partner. As you push into her or relax into her. And using an inhale, we'll take the arms, walking them back upright, back into a simple seated position. We'll start to stretch the spine side to side by taking the left arm out, walking it away from you, planting the palm again onto the surface of the earth, maybe feeling again how that feels to trust into the earth. And then right arm up towards the sky, towards our full moon. Feeling this sense of expansion through the right side of your body. And this might be enough. Or if you want a little bit more, you could try taking that right arm up and over the head. Inviting the breath into the side of you. Noticing what you feel there. If there's a particular spot, maybe in the waist, the hip, or the shoulder that feels a little more needed of breath. For those that want to go even deeper, you could bend the left elbow, getting the left elbow towards the floor. And it'll take you into a little bit of a deeper side bend as you soften the waist. Each exhale, finding a little millimeter of release. Each inhale, finding a little bit of opening. And we'll switch sides. Use an inhale to help you come out of that shape. And exhale to switch. Right arm walks out like a spider. Left arm lifts towards the sky. Notice here if it's possible to feel the air above you as that left arm reaches and takes in the element of air. And simultaneously feeling the support of earth and ground below you. Breathing into the body, feeling maybe a sense of gratitude for being able to feel both the sky, the air, and the support of the earth. What a beautiful balance we find ourselves in today. Being able to enjoy the sky and the earth. If you want more, taking that left arm up and over a bit, keep the arm as straight as possible, almost like you're kind of trying to tug your own body, pulling and extending even through the fingertips, even through the fingernails, maybe even feeling just a long line of energy, of extension out through the side of you. Breathing in to any tight spots, lovingly, patiently, without forcing. We'll make this movement a little bit more fluid, kind of like a wave. We'll just rock side to side with this theme of graceful ground, this anchoring that we might find in our hips. The spine, because it is anchored through the hips, has this ability like seaweed to sway. So allowing any organic sway, undulations with the spine, maybe taking the spine a little forward or back. Continuing to feel, though, that there's an anchor in the hips that's holding you. Maybe swimming the arms forward or back, letting the spine express itself today with the beautiful support of the ground. One last invitation here, maybe sweeping the fingers along the floor, playing with that sense of touch and how it supports our nervous system to feel. Good. Wonderful. We're going to come to standing towards the front of our mat. I'm going to invite in a moon salute. Standing towards the front of your mat, we will take the feet together. I'm going to play, hopefully if there's enough charge here, a friend Masood Ali Khan's music. I'll send you a little link to his lovely music. He lives in LA. Local friend. All right, so we're going to start with the feet together, if possible. If that feels a little too unstable, then we'll take the feet a little further apart. Oh, the battery is too low. Let me switch to a device that has battery. Okay. Reminding yourself of your intention, maybe your prayer. We're going to inhale the arms up towards the sky. Palms touch if you can. And then exhale the hands through center. And as they do so, allow the hands to be that remembrance of calm. Softening the face and the heart. Let the hands pause at the heart. Fingertips pointing up, elbows wide. And then tip the fingertips down towards the floor and slowly invite the hands to skim the lower chakras down to the earth. Feel again that connection of the earth as you rise the arms up. Maybe gaze up to the hands if you can, feeling the sense of length. Exhale, drawing that in. Allow the hands like loving hands of your mother or the earth, calming the face. Calming the heart chakra. Tip the fingertips down again, feeling this descent, this energy like you're growing roots down into the earth. One more time. Inhaling, the arms reach up. Exhale, bringing it all in, this sense of center, all the way down into your feet. This next one, you're going to inhale the arms up. So the right arm is going to cross in front of the left, palms touch. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. The palms are touching and the arms go straight. From here, we're going to slide into a crescent shape, taking the hips to the right and the arms to the left. Slow and smooth breath as you reach through the arms, reach through the heels. Good. Inhale, coming back to center. Allow the arms to come forward across the face and just this sense of unwinding and unraveling, letting it go. And then give a little shake to the body, anything that you're ready to let go of. A little warming up also of the joints, shaking the whole body as if you're just flicking water off. And then we'll switch sides after a little bit of shake. You're going to inhale the arms up. This time the left arm comes in front of the right. Palms face each other, taking the arms up. Getting long and tall, rooted and reaching. When you're ready, exhale the hips a little bit to the left. Doesn't matter how far you go, arms to the right. Allow your body to maybe pulse in and out of this crescent shape. Inhale, coming back to center, gaze at the hands above. And on an exhale, allow the hands to move in front of the face. And again, kind of an unfolding and unwinding of that cross. And again, a little shake, letting go. Good. Next, we're going to take the feet wide, maybe turning on your mat so both feet are on your mat, toes pointing forward. You're going to interlace the fingers back behind you. Inhale, gazing upright. Pushing into the feet, all four corners of the feet. Feel the legs engage slightly, pushing into the earth. And then use that strength of your legs as it pushes. As you fold the spine slowly forward, keep activating the legs, pushing into the feet until the torso can hang forward. Forehead relaxes, back of the neck long. If it's comfortable on the shoulders, taking the arms forward. Smooth and slow breath. Letting the spine hang against gravity, opening the spine. Relaxing the belly, the throat, the weight of the head, maybe even wiggling the head free. And take the arms to the earth straight, legs straight, arms straight, spine straight. Then we're going to turn our right toes out, bending the right knee, walk the hands towards that right foot. Doesn't matter how low you go, but try to descend the hip towards the right heel. If you need a block underneath your hands, you can try that for support. If you feel pretty stable on that right heel, you could try a bind here, taking the right arm in front of the shin bone and back towards that right hip, and then left arm behind the back. Maybe the hands can clasp. That might not work. Another option with the arms is to take the arms up or hands at the heart. Hands back to the earth. We're going to switch sides, turning the left toes out, right toes in. Walk the arms over to the left, staying low on the hips. A little bit like a crouching tiger in the grass. You can lean forward and back. If the hips need a little more support, use the arms. Use a block if you need to. You could find a bind across the leg. That might feel good. Taking the hands at the heart or towards the sky. Smooth, slow breath, relax face, feel your way, touching the earth, over to the other side, and then back. I'm just going to pulse into both hips, going right and left, using the hands as support, feeling the hips start to open. Use as much weight onto the hands as you need to. Maybe even taking the arms forward like so if that feels a little more supportive. Let's do a few more each side, acknowledging deep into the hips, this watery element of our body. As women, literally womb filled with water, life force, connected to the waters that get the lunar pull. Let's do one more. Good, thanking the hips. We're gonna take the arms forward, almost like a downward facing dog. So the feet stay wide, tuck the toes slightly, a wide down dog, letting the head slowly hang, forehead relaxed, extending the spine long. Smooth and slow breaths. Taking some time to soften through the hamstring, relaxing the backs of the legs, the belly, letting the navel soften. And walk the arms back towards the feet, coming into goddess pose or a horse stance. You're going to turn the toes out wide, bend the knees, and take the hands onto the knees. Push the heel of the hand into the knees. So you can scrunch your shoulders up by your ears and kind of hang into the support of the hips, using the strong arms to push the knees away. Soften through the inner groin, inside of the leg. Do what you can. Leave the rest. I'm going to build a little heat in this moon offering. You're going to take the torso upright so it's long and tall. Take the arms to the heart in a prayer pose, pushing the elbows wide. Get a nice deep squat into these sturdy, strong legs and slow the breath down. Maybe close the eyes if that supports you. Digging deep, maybe staying in this lunge for a little longer than maybe you naturally would want to. So digging deep, finding some heat, finding some inner strength to hold a challenging pose, to find our center, to find our ground even when life gets hard on the mat or off the mat. Smooth, cooling breath. And a total option here is to lift the right heel and drop the right heel, lift the left heel and drop, pulsing side to side, total optional leg activation. Maybe for some you could try to lift both heels. Good. Lowering the heels, slowly straighten the legs, releasing and relieving the legs. Toes pointing forward, arms out to the side. Taking the palms forward, spreading through the fingers, feel this sense of fullness like the full moon. Extending and radiating the limbs away from the core. Feeling like the full moon that's above us. Full and vibrant, shining. From here, we're going to turn our right toes out, coming into a triangle pose, which kind of represents this half moon. So we're going to slowly descend from this full moon energy, bending the right knee, so we can tip over, taking the right hand to the ankle, maybe a block. This is what it looks like with the block. And then you're going to, if you can, straighten the right leg. Totally optional. In triangle pose, you're working to extend the arm bones so that they're long and stacking, Feeling the right hand connected to the earth, left arm skyward, connecting to the air. Notice again here the body right in the middle, with the gift of being able to participate in earth and sky and their beauties, their gifts. Taking in this shape into all parts of your body, especially sending the breath to where you feel a little more challenged in this pose. See if the breath can create some opening, some release where there's grip, some breath and movement where there might be some frozen bits. Good, gaze down to the earth, and taking the left arm down, we're going to step back into a downward facing dog. So the feet are about hip width, checking the hands, they're about shoulder width, noticing the texture of your mat or the earth below you, seeing if you can touch it lovingly. You're not pushing the earth away with any sense of anger. See if you can fall into where you meet the earth a little bit more. Relax the weight of the head, the belly. Maybe lifting the heels or pumping the legs in downward facing dog. We'll take a pause before we transition to the other side, taking the knees to the earth, hips to the heels, into a child's pose. Forehead to the earth if you can, arms straight or alongside your body. Finding a place to rest the arms. Slowing down the breath, and letting the forehead connect and kiss the earth. Soften the belly, letting the torso fall on the thighs. Flooding the body with your breath. Breathing all the way down into the pelvic floor, the tailbone, the sacrum. Letting any worry go through the forehead, dripping like a leaky faucet into the earth. Trusting the earth to let go just a little bit more. Use an inhale to help you back upright, back into downward facing dog. And then we'll walk the feet towards the hands. And then curl the spine up, back to standing. Taking a big wide stance again onto your mat. You're going to come into that full moon shape, expanding and spreading the body, almost like you're being pulled by the feet, pulled by the hands. Feeling this expansive quality in your body as if you were just under that full moon, receiving the light. Allowing that fullness into every cell. Bright light. From here, we'll transition to the left, coming into a triangle or a half moon-ish energy. So we're going to take the left toes pointing forward, bend the left knee, maybe separate the legs a little bit wider or inch the feet wider. As you bend the left knee, slowly turn the torso and arms so the left hand, maybe it reaches on the elbow onto the thigh, that might be enough, or all the way down to the ankle. If you can, try to straighten the left leg, totally optional. Do what is available for you today without forcing. Using the hand on the ankle or a block again. Stack the arms. Feel the earth, the stability, and then feel the spaciousness of the sky. Maybe gazing up, or if you feel kind of wobbly, you could gaze down, trusting the earth. Finding your triangle, this kind of extension of earth and air. Breathing into the shape your body is taking. Turning through the waist, pushing through the feet, feeling through that upper arm. 3 more slow, smooth like silk breaths. Letting this pose meet you. When you're ready, we're going to take the right arm all the way down to the earth, kind of like a windmill, a spiral down, turning the hips to the left, and we'll step back into a downward facing dog again. This time we'll wag our tail or sway the hips slowly side to side. As we listen to that hung drum, that rhythm, that ancient drum beat. Seeing if you can move your hips with the rhythm of the music. And again from here, we'll fall into the earth's embrace, taking the knees to the earth into a child's pose. If the arms stayed forward last child's pose, take the arms alongside the body, forehead to the earth. Curl into the earth, close the eyes if that's comfortable. Allow the shoulders to hang, the spine to release. Giving the body a way to release any tension through the forehead. Anything your mind is chewing on. Letting it drip into the great earth. Feeling the inhalation expand through the back of the heart, back of the spine, back of the sacrum. Each exhale, feel this sense of returning back home as the heart softens, the shoulders drop, the belly relaxes. Maybe the nose gets a little smushed. If your arms are not alongside your body, go ahead and take them back now. So the palms face up, elbows slightly bent, shoulders completely released, almost like tired wings out to the side after a long migration. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers back behind us at the low back and lift the arms up, taking them towards the mat in front of you or the floor in front of you. On the inhalation, breathing into both shoulders. On the exhalation, take the arms a little further, hands reaching closer to the floor. Maybe taking more weight onto the nose. If you want more, lift the hips. You're going to roll onto the crown of the head like a wheel, letting the arms fall a little closer to the floor, a little closer to touching the earth, using gravity. Allow the weight of the crown of the head that's on the earth to massage the brain. Letting where your head meets the earth be relaxed so the pressure feels good. This might be enough for some people. You can stay here for a few breaths or two. If you want to go a little further, keep the head onto the earth. Take the hands to the mat so the elbows are bent. Fingertips point towards your face, but walk the palms away a little bit closer towards, in alignment with your knees. From here, separate the feet, tuck the toes under,
and lift the knees, taking more weight onto the crown of the head and weight onto the arms. So the forearms are perpendicular to the earth, lifting through the collarbones, taking weight onto the crown of the head. Some people, maybe staying here feels like enough. If you want to go a little deeper, you can lift one arm to the sky and switch, or both arms to the sky, palms facing each other, fingertips reaching, collarbones are lifting away. If you're watching the video, sometimes the shoulders want to fall towards the floor. Instead, watch how the shoulders can lift, collarbones lift. And everyone hands to the floor, slowly rolling out back into a child's pose. But this child's pose, I'd like you to separate the knees wide. Walk the arms forward, again, forehead to the floor. For some that have the flexibility in the neck, if you'd like, you could try taking the chin to the mat or the floor. Softening through the thyroid gland, stretching through the neck. Chin to the floor, heart reaching towards the floor. Smooth, slow breath. Allowing the weight of the body to fall into the floor. Finding that sense of release, softness, trust. And on an inhale, coming forward onto the hands and onto the knees. You can fold a blanket underneath the knees if they need a little bit more cush. From here, we're going to drop the belly, lifting the heart through the shoulders. Inhale as you gaze up. Exhale as you round the spine, pushing down through the hands, arching the spine, forehead towards the pubic bone. Again, inhaling, belly drops, tailbone lifts, lifting through the heart, chin, exhale, round. Pulling in. We'll move a few more times, undulating forward and back with your own breath and body, feeling the earth as your anchor through the hands and through the knees, and allowing the spine to move freely because of that support. Coming to a neutral spine, where the spine is about parallel to the ground. Crown of the head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Shift your weight over to your right knee and extend the left leg long behind you, flexing through the heel. You can stay here with just the left leg lifting, or if you want to challenge your balance, reach and extend the right arm forward. Feeling this long line of energy moving through the body, allowing the body to shake or move or adjust to find stability. Good. Release the hand back to the earth, knee back to the earth, switch, shifting over to the left knee, extend the right leg back behind you. Feel as if someone's pulling you by the ankle. Use the connection to the earth onto the right hand as you lift the left arm into space, feeling this extension through both limbs. Good, and release hand and knee back down to the earth. To come onto our backs, kind of a fun way, you're going to cross the ankles behind you and roll over the ankle bones onto your sit bones, and then we'll lie flat onto our backs, onto the earth.
When you're onto your back, onto the earth, go ahead and grab the knees. Maybe interlacing the fingers or grabbing the wrists. Hugging the knees and the legs in. Tuck the chin a little bit so you feel the back of the neck is long as the spine is long onto the mat. A reverse child's pose. From here, you're going to grab just your left knee and extend the right leg either bent onto the earth like so, or you can extend it all the way long. Hugging just the left knee into your chest, maybe flexing through both heels. Smooth, slow breath. Soft, relaxed face. Invitation to stay here if this is just what you need. If you want to go a little bit further, you could try extending the left leg to the ceiling, maybe grabbing the back of the thigh. Avoiding grabbing the knee, maybe grab the calf, maybe some can grab the toe, or you can use a yoga strap onto the ball of the foot. Maybe pointing and flexing through the toes, or the heels a little bit. And we'll come into a twist by bending that right knee. Take the left leg and cross it over the right, like you're sitting ladylike in a chair. Arms out to the side with the palms facing down. So you have your right foot onto the mat, both legs are bent. With the right foot into the mat, lift the hips slightly away from the mat. Take the hips over to the left slightly. Walk that right foot over to the left. And then allow the legs to fall to the right into a natural twist as the weight of the legs falls to the right, the hips turn, the spine turns. If it feels right to come into a full twist, you could try gazing over your left shoulder so the cervical vertebra also are twisting. Make any adjustments that are needed so you can find some release in the twist. Softening the belly, inviting a full breath in and a full release of the exhale. Slow, smooth breath. Use an inhale to help the legs come back through center. Uncross the legs. Square yourself back in line with your mat so the spine is straight. Tucking the chin, neck is long, and then grab the right knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers or grab the shin or the knee. Taking the left leg maybe long or keeping it bent, whatever your hips and low back need. Flexing through the heel if you want a little more. A slow, smooth breath. Maybe closing the eyes. Noticing the subtleties of the body. Where you feel this pose. Where you feel your body on the earth. Where you feel the air touching the skin or your clothes. Straighten that right leg towards the sky if you'd like. A deeper hamstring stretch. Breathing into any tight spots, stuck spots. Keeping the jaw relaxed, the tongue, the cheeks, the lips.
When you're ready for a twist on the other side, we'll bend the left leg, left foot onto the earth. Cross the right leg up and over the left like you're sitting ladylike. Arms out to the side, palms down for a little more support. Push into that left foot so the hips lift. Take the hips over to the right side of your mat. You're going to walk and wiggle that left foot over to the right side of the mat as well. And allow the legs to fall with gravity to the left. Navel relaxes, belly relaxes. If you want more, gaze over the right hand, turning the head to the right. Making any adjustments so that you can surrender into the twist, into gravity, into this moment. Let's take one more cleansing breath into this twist. Maybe even letting out a sigh with the exhale. And we'll slowly come back to center. Uncrossing the legs, straightening the spine long and in alignment with the mat, taking the legs long, finding final relaxation, lying flat onto the earth, or using any props underneath the thighs or the knees if you need for some low back support, or a folded towel under the neck for cervical support, or a blanket over you for a little bit of warmth. Finding comfort to rest onto the earth, into this graceful ground that is below us today. Getting as comfortable as you can. Making any last little wiggles or adjustments so that you can eventually find stillness, so that you feel your body fully being held by the ground below. With each exhale, relaxing more into the support of the earth. Becoming the earth, a layer of her beauty, letting each muscle and bone, releasing any grip. Noticing that pulse of the breath that invites the chest and heart and belly to rise and to fall. And let it do both. Taking in one molecule of this precious air at a time, slowing down to savor the simple joy of breathing, of air, of surrendering, the simple joy of earth. And as we breathe and feel the air and feel the earth, it's hard not to have some gratitude for being alive. Being able to breathe and feel. Being able to surrender and soften in to the earth. Taking a few awakening breaths into the body like you're just getting out of bed this morning. A second arising. Maybe wiggling fingers or toes or circling. Extending the arms or hugging the legs in. Maybe rocking or rolling or curling to one side. Maybe resting onto one side of the body before we get up. Being in no rush. I'd love to share with you a poem to remind us this full moon of your beauty, of your connection to the earth, to this web of life. You can enjoy this poem lying down if you need to stay down, or starting to roll and find your way seated. There is a really great book for those interested in tracking the moon cycles and enjoying the phases of the moon. It's so beautifully done too. It's called We Moon, and it's a calendar that tells you every day the phases of the moon, but it's also woven in with poetry and art. And this one was actually today's poem, or, it was right near July 3rd. It's called On the Forest Floor. It's written by Sarah Satya, and it reminds me of our connection to this ground and the great resources that we have and tools to use the earth as an ally and to be in better connection and right relationship with our body and the body of the earth, knowing there's no difference. On the forest floor, I lay my body and ask to be reborn, made of ferns and branches and bird calls, that this earth, she undresses me of my thoughts and connects me to her in the language my blood speaks, that she grows tiny roots at the end of my limbs so she can be my anchor, my only true home, so I can belong to her anywhere the way animals do, so that our hearts beat in harmony, so that I know the only truth, the one she whispers always, so that she lives on my lips and in my skin. Taking your hands together at your heart or on your heart if that feels most in alignment. Reminding and leaning in to the support that's here today, underneath you and around you.
reminding yourself that you are connected to this earth, to others, that you're not alone. Sealing your practice with a prayer for your body and for the body of the earth. And letting the sound of the Tibetan bell take your prayers into space. If it feels right for you to bow the head, thanking your practice for whatever it brought you today. Thanking yourself for showing up, for being courageous. Namaste. Thank you so much for attending to your earth body. I hope this practice helped. I will be offering these full moon practices for at least a couple more months to help us get through. I also am having a once a month women's circle virtually, and also once a month Koya, a female practice movement once a month. And those can both be found on my website, tawnysterious.com, or splashed around my Facebook page and Instagram. So thank you. I hope to connect soon. Let me know what you appreciated, what you'd like to see more of, and be well.